It was January 16th, 1979. I was working the case for 2 weeks now. The killer was very careful, always tricking me into dead ends and never letting anything connect him to his victims. He was confident enough to play a game with me. Inenmete. While he was trying to spell, I tried to figure out for days to no result. And that wasn't the only weird thing about his behavior. Middle-aged female, young male, middle-aged male. Nothing connecting the victims to each other. Different social circle, different workplace, different work hours. I couldn't put a reason behind those murders. And the game he was playing, I get it now. It was for fun. But killing wasn't the only fun part. He had quite the liking to stalking his victims first. And through the victims' secret diaries and emails calling for help, I could build a profile to the faceless killer. A large built male with an average height that would be almost impossible to track down. Or so I thought. Monday, 1 a.m. There I stood in front of the building that 4 murders had taken place, all in this one building. The victims didn't have anything in common, but where they live. So if he is picking his targets at random, he must either live here or come here often to stalk them. I already had the profile, just needed someone acting up. It was a cold night, snow covering the streets. I could occasionally hear the sound of ordinary people tripping over the ice while I waited. The only thing keeping me warm was my coat and the sips of booze from a nearby bar. I went there very often to get something to kill my thirst and hunger, although they have very strict closing hours. Walking to another bar nearby, I remember thinking to myself how the city can be weird sometimes. I sat while reaching for the machine that would fuel me for the rest of the night. I don't quite recall how many times I went back to the machine, but when I least expected, there he was, a figure standing still at the front door of the same bloody building, staring at my direction with cold eyes. Maybe he thought I was just another homeless, or maybe the perfect next victim. The reason why he willingly gave me his fingerprints is unknown to me. Was he that confident, or did he want it to get caught? Either way, the only thing I needed was his name. £100 was the price he put on his own freedom. With his name, I could easily pinpoint where he lived, with a very useful book I got from the enforcers. And just to make sure, I had to look for the crime weapon. A low caliber pistol. All the victims had the same wound, and blood drawing beneath their corpses. Maybe a ritual, part of his own little game, perhaps. But he was getting close to King over very soon. I wasn't expecting that kind of security. Maybe that's why he was so confident. Well, I tried looking for a way to turn off those things to no success. But one single item was the only reason I was there for. I just needed to be careful. Weird, I thought to myself. The gun isn't nowhere to be seen. I cracked open his safe and it was also not there. Before I could piece together everything, I noticed the security system was turned off, which means he was back home. In desperation, I knocked him over and looked everywhere in the house. Nothing. In my rush to find the weapon, some attention to my little sleepy friend was needed, for he had woken up. The alarm was ringing and the forces were coming. Among all the confusion and chaos, it looked like a perfect opportunity for him. A new reporter murder was what I heard from my radio, as I was forced to flee back home. So the gun was on him. I waited for a few hours and on my way back I had a realization. I didn't hear any gunshot. That's weird. Why would he suddenly change his methods? Out of boredom? Or did he just lost the gun? Either way, I had to go check. Before going back to his apartment, I went up to check on the body. And there it was, a blade wound. So he wasn't using guns anymore. I went back to check on my sleepy friend one last time and made sure he had nothing with him or on his house. The closest thing I could find was a kitchen knife. It probably wasn't used for the murders, but I already had everything I needed. Mateo Etienne. He was quite a elusive one. I was deceiving me with false leads. He would be able to fool any enforcer in this city, but not me. Being brave enough to even play a game. But how confident he was, I could even guess that it was some kind of hint that... Wait.
It's Matthew Etienne.
The city is still able to surprise me, and it never fails to amaze me. Matthew Etienne was behind the Ritual Reaper. Case closed.